All right, we're live. I like how just as we went live, Satch stepped out of frame. Amazing.
I just had a last minute phone thing. I read that.
All right. This is okay. So let's tell our audience what the plan is. The plan is today we're gonna try and make the stream more interesting by moving faster. So that's the idea. Sound good, Satch?
Sounds great.
I'll still ask you guys to do things as like little bits here and there, but sorry, you're trying to say something, Richard?
Sorry, I opened up your stream on my laptop. That's what Rich was saying, that I don't need to do that because you're up on the television.
I mean, you can still hit play. Make sure.
Yeah. Sorry, done. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do things now. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's try and refresh ourselves where we were at. So we have sign in working. And we have this game lobby thing. But when we type in a game here, currently all it does is returns a game ID and a game code and doesn't do anything. Doesn't save any information about what we're doing. Yeah? That's where we were at last time. And I was saying that what we need to do now is start a game and persist it so that multiple people can join, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to have to do those things. So let's jump right into it, I think would be a good place to start. Just get get started on it.
What about
Go get it energized. Nice new headphones done.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. They're not new though. I've just always had them, but I prefer wearing the Apple AirPods because these guys here, I don't know, they sort of make my voice sound very heady because they're noise canceling.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a preference for I don't know. I don't like to actually have things on my head. I don't like wearing anything, really. You know, I don't like wearing jewelry. I don't like wearing headphones. Just my clothes.
You wear a necklace, don't you?
I even stopped wearing my necklace.
Oh, man.
I did used to like wearing that. Maybe I should put it back on.
Yeah. When you feel like fancy.
Maybe. Maybe. All right, let's go. Let's make a game. All right. So we have all these files. Okay, so main is where we have our this is where most of our backend is started from, and we have game. Game is currently actually a placeholder for some of our older things that we had built, but we may not need any of this. And I kind of want to reuse this file for something else. So maybe I will do that. That might make some sense to do. Yeah, let's do it here. So we need to be able to model a game, okay? So the way that we do that, a good way of doing that is using a class. So class basically allows us to make something called objects in programming. Have you guys heard of this before?
Have you, Rich?
Yeah, I've heard of classes. I haven't heard of the whole object thing though.
Okay.
Like objects, like as in like a part of the program or a paragraph or something.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna write code as I talk, or I'm gonna try to write code as I talk. So the idea here really is that we need to represent a collection of data that's related to one another, and we want to make this data. We want to be able to like apply functions to this data and transform it over time. A good example of this is in our game. We want to keep track of who the players are, and as new players join, we want to add to the existing set of players, right? So let's do that. We're going to do this thing called self.players. And the players, I guess for now, can just be, we'll make it a dictionary, I think. So in Python, we do that with these curly braces. So there's two ways for you guys to follow, right? You're able to see the stream, and you're also able to join the live share session.
Right.
It's probably easier to see the live share session than to read the code as I go. But let's start with this. So we have players, yeah? Now, one of the things that we need to be able to do is add players to the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we need a function to do that. Something that will transform players by adding a player. So we can say def add player. And this is a function that will essentially allow us to add a player to the game. It looks like you want to say something, Satch. What's up?
Oh, no, nothing. I'm just trying to go into your live session.
Oh, yeah. Do you need help? I dropped the link in our chat, the one that you in Gmail that you love, right?
Yeah, I do love that one.
All right. So let's start with this, okay? So we have this game class, and we have add player, and the player needs to be added. We need some way to identify the players. So if you recall, well, actually, I can just show you, right? So here's our game. So if I go into this host game and I say that my name is Shad, and I say create game, I get back a game code of JBOC. And if I go to our backend, you'll see I have a bunch of information that came out here. We have a nickname called Shad, and we have his ID, among many other things. So because we're building this game to be anonymous, right? We don't want people to know other people's email addresses or their real name if they don't want to expose that. We won't store any of their real information into this game class. Instead, we'll just store their nickname and their ID. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah. So what we'll do is we'll make it so that, what do you guys think about this idea? I'm thinking that we make it so that the game can only, like, you can't choose a nickname of someone else currently playing the game,
Oh, nice.
right?
That's the one.
So you have to pick a unique nickname for your game. Like, you can, if you play another, like, basically, so that if I join as Shad, you can't come in and pretend to also be Shad. You'd have to be Shad 2 or something like that. Yeah?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why I want to do it that way. But the main reason is that I want to make the nickname the key in the game, and the value is going to be their real ID. And the way dictionaries work is you can only have the keys have to be unique. So in other words, we'll identify the user in every situation via their nickname within the game. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we add a player, we need their nickname, and we need their ID. Let's just call it name for now. Name and ID. Yeah? And then what we do is we say self.players of name is equal to ID. And this will add, I need to add self here. Save that. All right. Beautiful. So we have a very basic class going. So this class currently just represents the players. Eventually we'll add more things to this, like the game state, and but for now this is good actually. Maybe what we'll even have later on is like the chat messages. Like if we do have some sort of chat, we may want to keep track of when messages were sent, stuff like that. Okay. So here's our game. Next, let's head back over to main. And we now need to keep track of these games. Okay? When someone says they want to host a game, we need to create an instance of the game and keep track of it over time. Make sense? Okay. So we'll just make a global variable for this for now. I'll just show you how this works. So let's take a look. Here is where we receive the user, their nickname. Oh, I did a bad thing. Nickname should be Nick_name. Yeah, fix that. There's a certain set of style conventions in Python and JavaScript that we should be following. So in Python, for reasons, we use underscores between words, and in JavaScript we use camel case.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay.
the lowercase and then uppercase.
Yeah,
Oh.
like a camel, because the
The hump.
capital letters go bumpy.
Oh, I see.
And this format here, for if you're interested to know, is called snake case.
Snake.
And the reason why it's called snake case is because it's most commonly associated with Python, and Python is a
It's a snake.
snake. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it had something to do with how it looks.
I know.
If only.
If only, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go. So we're just gonna. So I wrote down what we were gonna do here. Things we need. It's actually kind of useful to have here. So global variable games is going to be a. Let's think. It's going to be a dictionary. The key of the game is going to be the game ID, right? And
Key.
pardon?
What do you mean the key?
Right. So in a dictionary, dictionaries consist of a key and a value. So the key is what you, so like think of it as like a real dictionary. You look up words and then they have definitions, right? So when I say key, I mean the thing that is indexed in the dictionary. When I say value, I mean its definition. Yeah? So the key will be the game ID. We're going to look up all our games based on the game ID. And then inside of it, we'll store the game. So here's how we do this. Create game. So when we create a game, we need to generate a game ID, which we are doing, and we need to generate a game code. And then we need to create a game and add it to the games list, to the games dictionary. So here's how we do that. We say game is equal to new game, and see it's asking me to auto import there. So I'll just say game.game. Oh, that's... Ooh. Okay, let's use a different letter. Well, we can. We should. We should look at our naming in a little bit. Okay, so we create a new game. And currently this takes nothing, but it should actually take the game ID and the game code. It's useful for the game to know its own game ID and game code. So let's head back over here, and we'll add the arguments game ID and game code, and we'll save these as part of the game. So game ID is game ID.
What's this again you said? You just said this term.
Sorry, what's the question, Satch?
I don't know.
Like the class is an object.
Yeah.
What is this section again? The class?
Yeah. It is... I'll spend a bit of time on this in a little bit.
Okay.
It'll be easier to understand if we get the example working first.
Okay.
Until then, it's a little bit nebulous. It's a lot easier to understand when I show you.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go ahead. So here is our game ID. Okay, so this is our object. It stores the players, and it stores the game ID and the game code. Right? With me so far?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, so let's save that guy, head over to main. So now game takes a game ID and a game code. So we'll just say here, game ID. And let's do it like this, game code. Right? So now G is our game, okay? And we need to save it. So we'll say games, right? This is referring to our global variable up here that's storing all the current games. And we're going to say the game ID for that game we'll store G into that dictionary, right? All right, let's just rather than me explaining all this code to you, I'm going to show you what we've done, okay? And I'm just going to create a little helper thing for us, okay? The helper thing, I'm going to put it at the bottom here. And we'll just say @app.get game. Actually, let's put this right here. Get game. Def get game. And, or actually, games. Get games. So this is, we're not going to leave this in. What this function is going to do, it's just going to list all the games that are currently available to join. Normal users won't be able to see this. We're going to remove this later, but it's useful for us to be able to see what's going on, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
in fact, that would work nicely for like a lobby.
Yeah, sometimes in Among Us, you can see the different strangers lobbies that are available that require more players. Is this a different thing?
Well, it's not programmed for that yet. It's just meant to show us that it's working and keep it in holding the code in the array or the dictionary.
Exactly. That is correct. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work, but the best way to find out is to try. Oh, Mom's here. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mitt.
Mom.
Oh, Mitt's here too. Hey, Mitt.
Hi, Mitt.
Oh, we got 4 viewers. Oh, I wonder who the 4th one is.
I'm one, and Rich is one.
Me.
Okay. Okay.
We're supporting ourselves as we must do.
Oh, good idea. Okay, let's try things out, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll just open up a new tab here, and we're going to hit our Docs API. Do you remember the Docs API?
I totally know what an API is.
You do?
No, but I keep hearing it all the time.
Okay, I'll help you out with that. Okay, so API stands for Application Programming Interface, and what it is think of it as like a contract, right? I want to enable you to do things. Let's say we're working together, and I want to enable you to do things, right? So I'll tell you, here are all the things you're allowed to do. You're allowed to list my games. You're allowed to log in. You're allowed to check your current logged in person. You're like who you are. You're allowed to check state, all this information. And then I tell you how that stuff works, and then you can go off and build something that uses these functions, right? So that document that describes what I'm providing you is called an API, the Applications Programming Interface, right? How you interact with me. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is not working the way I want. See, it says /games and everything is /API/other things. So the reason is because I made a mistake here. This should be API.get instead of app.get. So I'll fix that and then refresh this page. And now what we do is if I go to API games and say try it out, click execute, it will list all the games, which is currently nothing because no games have been created, yeah?
Right.
Okay, but now if I am here and I say host a game, this is now going to execute the code over here and create a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
In theory, let's try. Create game.
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pink in the stream.
Virtual hug. And this is all happening locally via your IP or your local host, right?
I think so. Hold on. I think something didn't work. Let me see what happened. Execute.
The post API game says unprocessable entity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We saw that last time, too. And then we fixed it, right? Do you remember what the problem was?
I'm not sure. Maybe we can find it here. No, I don't see it.
Okay. That's I remember it being something unprocessable entry.
And
Unprocessable entity. I'm curious. What does it mean if unprocessable entity? Let's just look this up real fast. What does it mean if I do that? If this happens? Okay. And fast API. Oh. Okay. Let's try again. Shad create. Yeah, this part here is broken. Let's see. So this just worked before, right?
oh yeah, because you can see it, all the things that worked and part that didn't work.
Huh. This is weird, huh? Let's find out what's going on. Oh, something happened here. Oh. Oh, I see what happened. Nickname is missing. Okay. Oh, it is telling me what went wrong. Nickname is missing. So that happened because we changed the name here, huh? I know what the problem is, yeah? Do you guys know what the problem is?
I do
No.
not.
Yeah, it's right here. So when we created the JSON object, it has to match the same pattern, yeah? And because we renamed it in the API, yeah, all right. That should fix it though. Let's go again. Shad, create game. All right, here we go. So here's our game code. Now, if we head over to Fast API and list the games, here it is. Check it out. So we have the game ID here, as well as labeled here, and the game code, and the players. Okay? You with me so far?
Yes.
Also,
Yeah?
talk about moving fast.
Okay, now, one of you guys do it. You saw how I did it. One of you guys log into the thing and host a game.
Okay. Should I share my screen?
Nope, no need. I'll be able to see when this happens through logs. The magic of logs.
Okay, I got it. I got my code.
Yep, I see you've logged in as. So if you're looking through at the stream, you'll see that your nickname here is Rich, and here is your user ID.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Whoa!
Right now, check this out. If I head over to the Fast API and I list the games, I'm now going to see 2 games. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you see a problem?
Oh, nice. The 2 games are there.
Yep.
But our nicknames aren't in there.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, good. Nice catch. Let's fix it. So if we look at our main, what we've done is created the new game instance. Okay, actually, let's take a step back because now I'm able to answer Satch's question. So your question, Satch, was, what is this class thing? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the class thing. The class thing allows us to essentially make objects that contain multiple pieces of information and allow us to sort of keep it in one place, right? So in this case here, we're keeping track of 3 pieces of data: the game ID, the game code, and the set of players in the game, right? So I created a game, which ended up being here, and Richard created a game, and which created a game here. Now we're playing independent games right now, so this is not a problem. But what we want to do is, because we're playing independent games, we need to keep those games as separate things, okay? And so by making this class, we can define what a single game is, and then we can take all the information about a given game, put it into this object, and then save it. And we can have multiple versions of them depending on who's playing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we both called create game. It got called twice. And so we created 2 instances of the game. And both of those instances get stored into this global dictionary called games. Right? And then when we list games, which is what this API is doing for me, I'm able to see all the current games being played. Make sense?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So now the bug that we have is that the person who created the game should be in the players list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's add the player. So to do that, we're just going to go right here, and we're going to say g dot, and then you'll see that we have things in here. What we want is this method that we created, add player. So we're going to say add player, and we're going to add the nickname, and we're going to add the user's ID. So the user's ID, if you recall, is the ID field right here. I'm highlighting it in the stream of the user. So we just say user ID. Okay, let's save that. Okay, the app restarted after I saved, so if I execute now, the games are empty again. Okay, so let's try it again. So Richard, you can go ahead and create a game, and I'm also going to create a game. Create game. Uh-oh, stuff's broken. Unhashable type, nickname. So something bad happened. Yeah, it's going to happen to you too. So in add player, line 15. So game, so let's take a look here. See, it says that on line 15 of game.py, something bad happened. Specifically, it's saying unhashable type nickname. And the reason why that's happening is because, well, I'll basically show you. We have a class called nickname up here, and inside the class nickname, there's a field called nickname. So we need to go here, and we have to say dot nickname. So nickname dot nickname. Yeah, save that. Let's try again. All right, mine worked. How about you? How about you, Darkmon?
Second, I gotta go on. Refresh. Rich. Create.
All right, looks like it worked for you.
Yes.
So now I'm going to list games again. And there they are. Check it out. So we got 2 game IDs.
We're back.
2 and each and Richard's playing in the game whose game code is ICHL, and I'm playing in the game whose game code is ESIG. So far,
Wow.
so good?
Yeah. And
All
so that's our user ID that's next to our name there.
It is, yes.
Nice.
Yay.
Yes. Yes.
And are the user IDs unique to that one game, or does it say, like, if I were to leave and join another game? But obviously, not that we've gotten that far yet. But.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. The ID, I believe, is globally unique. So you can follow me around the internet with this. I believe. It's possible, though, that the way Google implemented it is that it's only per app unique. So this might be unique at a poker app level. So it doesn't matter when you come into this game. I can always identify you with this number.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. But you can choose whatever nickname you want in whatever game. And we'll make it so that the API never presents the user with these numbers. Make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it becomes maybe too easy to actually track people if someone was was malicious or something.
Exactly. So the reason we need to have this information, though, is that later on, when we save this game, we will want to keep, like, a user might want to be able to see all the previous games they've played. So we need to store all their games according to their user ID. And when they try to access their game, they need to prove that they are this user before we return their games to them. Does that make sense?
Wait, can you say that again?
So let's say that we want to keep let's say a player wants to keep track of all the games that they've played, and they want to see the history of the games that they've won, that they've lost over time, right? You'll want to like show stats, like are you improving? Are you, stuff like that.
So those numbers would help with that.
So yeah, exactly. We would use these numbers to associate the games in our database so that the user can see all their games over time. But more importantly, we'll make sure that we only ever show games that user actually participated in, right? So like we're gonna have a database of all the games that has ever been played, but if a user says show me my history, we only show them their games, right? And we need this information so that we can correctly select it when we give it to them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we've gotten creation of a game. Now we need to be able to join a game that has already been created. Yes?
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. So to do that, we're going to need mapping, essentially, from the game code to the current games in progress, right? So the way we're going to do that is like this. We're going to say game codes, or we'll call it current game codes, is also going to be a global dictionary. Okay? This one here will keep a mapping from the game code to the game ID. Make sense? You guys have any questions? What you thinking? Thumbs up? All right.
Oh yeah, we're good. So I just wanted the table closer.
Okay. All right, let me keep you up on the stream there. All right, so let's go. So what we're going to say now is current game codes of the game ID, game code that is equal to the game ID. Okay? What this will allow us to do is very easily find the game ID for a given game code. And this will allow people, when they are trying to join the game, to be able to join a game that's currently getting ready to start. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Current game codes. Totally.
Totes. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to just do a thing up here.
How did you just type in like current game, like, I don't know, that's just natural sentences. How did you know to type that sentence?
Sorry, I don't understand the question. Say again.
Because you just talked about current game codes, which means whatever people are playing currently.
Yeah.
And that's part of the code.
Yes.
This question is too meta because
We're making it.
you're defining what that means.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So these things up here are variables, right? I can give them whatever name I want, but I want to give them names that convey their meaning, right? So my current game code is the idea here is that it stores the games that are currently in progress, right? And you can call it whatever you want. If you preferred, we could call it, for example, games currently in progress, or game codes currently in progress, or something like that, which is entirely fine too. There's a sort of an art to finding a variable name that is sufficiently descriptive, but not too long.
Okay.
Yeah, so current game codes. And our current game codes will now take a game code and a game ID. Now, I want my list games method that we're using right now to keep track of what's going on to show me all these things. So I'm going to say games, like this. And current game codes. So by doing this, I'll be able to see them. Let's try it again. All right, you log in, Rich. I'm also going to log in. Create a game. Let me know once you've created a game.
He created it.
Nice. Execute. Check it out. So now we have our games, right? The two games Rich is in, one that Rich is in, one that Shad is in. And the current game codes that are available are this and this. And they map to the game IDs. Make sense?
Nice job.
Totally.
So this will now allow us to let someone join the game, right? We're going to make it so that when they call join game, which we have to write, they just have to pass which game they want to join and who they are. And then we will add them to the appropriate game. Make sense?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
We can do it.
You can dance. You can dance. Everybody look at your pants. All right. So we're going to have join game. I think this is good. Let's call it join. We may need to update our APIs later to make them nicer. Def join game. And so now we're going to have a join game, which is of type join game. Okay? And you have to be logged in order to do this, because we need to know your user ID in order to add you. So we're going to do it like this. And I just invented join game. It doesn't exist yet. We need to create it. So let's do that. So this is a join game. And join game needs to take your nickname, which is a string, and it needs to take the game ID. Yes?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not game ID, the game code, which is also a string. Right? Y'all, you with me so far?
Oh, right, because for a user perspective, you don't want the long string, you just want the code.
Correct. Yes. Now, once they join, though, we're going to be returning the same thing, game ID and game code. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, but first we need to add them to the game. So let's check. So step one, when they want to join, we're going to look at their game code and we need to see if it's a valid game code. If it's not a valid game code, then we need to tell them no, not allowed, right? So let's do that. So we'll just say if, let's see, if join game dot game code not in our game codes, this one here, current game codes. So if you're not currently in the game, then we need to give that user an error message.
We got not in is a command.
Yeah, it is in Python.
What in the world? That's so funny.
Is that like an exception type thing?
This bit of code here?
Yeah. What?
it's so English. Yeah, it's not in this.
There is a reason why people like Python. It is for its readability. It's easy to sort. Well, sometimes it is easy to read Python code. This is an example of that. So let's break it down. Yeah. So join game.gamecode. So join game is what we're going to pass in from the web, from the user's interface, yeah? From here, when they're in the game lobby sorry, let me refresh the page. When you're here, you need to type a name and a code, and then you click join, right? So join game is an object that's holding the nickname right here and the game code right here. Okay. Now, what we want to make sure is that the game code is a valid game code, meaning to say that the host has created it and it's a current game code, right? So this is how you write that if statement. So if this game code is not a current game code, then that's an error. So we need to like basically say like resource doesn't exist or something. So let's see here. Let's look that up. We need fast API, and we need to rate. It's basically an exception, like maybe 404 not found.
Yeah.
You guys have seen 404 not found before, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we may want to we sorry, what did you say?
More times than I'd like to admit.
So we're gonna return a 404 if you don't provide a correct game code, because that's literally what happened, right? The game that you asked for doesn't exist, right? 404 not found. So this is how you do it. If you're seeing the stream, we just need to raise this exception, raise HTTP exception, and then we just say, let's import this.
Take the error, man. Take the error.
Why is it 404 anyway?
Oh, that is a good question. I'll answer it shortly. Give me 1 sec.
There are many numbers that happen. Sometimes if it's not found, or if it's a reason other than not being found, they give you a different number.
Well, let me tell you, it all started with Alexander Graham Bell. First phone.
Was he the
When
first
he put the
number?
first dial, he tried, it was not found. And in fact, it was
You're gonna have
Mr.
to
404
Oh,
that answered and told them it was wrong.
I have to say, that is probably the best origin story for 404 I've ever heard.
it's not even the number, it's the man's name.
I am Mr. 404. Love it. But the real reason why it is what it is when the web was being invented, they defined a set of codes for errors or status codes. They're not always errors. So 200 status means A-OK, everything looks good. And in fact, that's what these 200s are. Yeah. And then there's a bunch of additional errors that we've already seen. We've run across 422s. And then 500 is like the server just broke. You'll always see when you're in development mode, every time you make a mistake and your program doesn't do the right thing or does something that's not allowed, you'll see a bunch of 500 error message all over the place. Make sense?
The internal server error.
Yeah. Anyway, there's lots of useful status codes, especially errors. Like when you need an error, there's usually one that exists that you can use. In this case, yeah. We're raising a 404 for if the game doesn't exist, yeah? Now, if it does exist, then you're probably allowed to join it, right? So we just need to get your game and add you to the game. Make sense?
Yes.
So let's do it. Let's get your game. So to get the game, we need to first get the game ID for this game code. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so the game ID, it's the value in the set of game codes. So we're going to say grab the game code. So remember, this is like a dictionary. It's like a phone book, right? And the key in the phone book is the game code, and the value is the game ID. So what we're saying is go into the current game code's phone book, the dictionary, and pull up the value corresponding to the game code. All right. Now that we have the game ID, we're ready to get the actual game instance, right? So we're going to say game equals games of game ID. So games is another phone book where the key is the game ID, right? That long, hard to remember string. And the value is our game instance. If you recall from our API, it's this thing, right? The thing that contains the players. You with me?
Right, because it needs to be able to pull all the players as well as the code and the
Yes.
ID.
But in particular, we need to be able to do this. Game.addPlayer. And then we're going to pass the nickname, the join games nickname, and we're going to pass the user's ID. So now this will allow us to add the user to the game. Right?
Nice.
Nice. Okay. So let's put this. I like to space things out a little bit for things that go together. So we have, okay, let's look at what we have now. We have the game ID, we have the game code, and we're ready to return all this stuff. I think we can just return straight away. The game code is this guy here, join game code. All right, beautiful. Okay, let's test. All right, Rich, you create a game, and I will attempt to join it.
Oh, okay, let's do this. Rich.
All right.
So created.
So take a look now at the Fast API. When I execute the list games, I will see that the game. Oh, you should tell me what's the game code, Rich.
Oh yes, the game code is UXSU.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to attempt to join it, but we haven't built the front end yet to make it work. So in order to do this, I have to. I'm going to just call the API directly.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So you called create game, I've been calling list games, and we now need to join game. Where's my join game?
You just created it, so maybe you have to refresh.
You're right. Okay. I also need to authorize myself. One sec. I need to be authorized to do it. One sec. Whew. Ooh, is that me or you? I don't even know. All right, let's quickly figure out who this token belongs to. I don't think it's me. I think it's you. Double check.
Oh, like when I join?
Yeah, so because I'm using the API, in order to run things as me, I need to prove to the backend that I am who I say I am. So this is you, actually. Remember we talked about the tokens last time? The tokens prove that you are, who you say you are. Okay, I think this one is me. Let's try again. Yes, this one is me. All right, so I can prove to the computer that I am who I am by clicking this authorize button up here and then pasting my token here, authorize. If I don't do this, the backend, I should show you. Let me show you what happens if I don't do this. Log out, close. If I try to join a game, try it, and I'll just execute whatever, I'll see down here, error 403. Oh, here's a 403, a different number. Forbidden. I'm forbidden from doing this because I'm unauthenticated.
Nice. That's the right code and everything.
That's exactly right, yeah. So now let's authorize myself. We're going to add this token. And now when I try to join, well, now it's going to work. So I better use real things. So I'm going to say that I'm Shad. And the game code is... what was it again?
UXSU.
Actually, let's make a mistake. UXSI, right? Execute. Yeah. 404, not found. There it is. Okay, let's try again. UXSU. Was that right?
Yep, SU.
All right, execute. 200, okay. And I got back the game ID. Here's the game ID. So now, if I go and list games, try it out, execute. Check it out. Rich and Shat are in the same game.
Nice.
You're playing the same game right now.
That's right.
Yeah, we're just sitting at the same table. We're just looking at each other.
Looking at each other.
Out.
Yes. Things are working. Things are working. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay.
That's awesome.
Yes. I love it. Okay. Now, the next thing is, well, there's a number of next things we can do. We can do the front end that connects. Let's do the front end because that's the right thing. So we're going to hook up the join game. Yeah?
Join.
Join that.
Hey, what is it? I'm looking in the chat. It says that messages are retracted. What does that mean?
Yeah, I was just trying it out because I saw Mitt do it. So I was like, oh, cool.
Oh.
I know the whole message deleted thing. It's pretty much just message deleted.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, same deal.
I see.
It's been redacted.
Redacted.
Okay, let's go. Front end, lobby. So we're going back to the lobby, and we want to be able to make it so that you can join the game. So we thankfully have a bunch of code that sort of already does it, right? There's some code I can let you guys write today, which will be a nice little thing. So first off, I'm gonna show you a cool thing. We're gonna bind this name field up here on line 44 to the same nickname that is used by line 48. Okay? Who wants to try?
You want to try yours?
That you want to try?
Okay, I'll try.
You literally copy paste the contents in 48 to 44.
So copy 48.
Yeah.
Copy. And go to 44.
And just replace it. Yeah.
Wait, do the whole thing?
Yeah, replace it.
44.
All right, save it.
Save.
I don't think you saved it. Try again.
Save.
All right. Oh, stuff broke. Why did it break?
Did I save it?
Oh, wait, what?
You hear the sirens?
Oh, barely.
I'm gonna close the window.
Barely. It's probably going to get louder, though, because it sounds like it's getting louder.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but refreshing fixed it. All right, check this out. Are you guys watching the stream?
I'm watching the stream.
Did you just see what happened?
No.
Oh.
Whoa!
Oh.
You typed in both?
At the same time.
Yeah. So the cool thing about React is that by binding two things together in the same component, or it doesn't have to be in the same component, but when you bind a field to the same underlying state value, it changes everywhere at the same time. So it's kind of cool.
Nice.
So that way you can just type it in one place, and we don't need to make multiple variables for it. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we need the game code. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. So we've kind of already used the field for game code here, and it's not the same game code as the one that you're going to type in. It will be, but not yet. This game code here is the validated game code from the server, and we need an unvalidated field for the one that users type. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you mean by unvalidated?
It's not a good word. I just meant like something for the user, like whatever the user we need a field that's keeping track of what the user's value is typing, what the user is typing. right? A value. English is hard. A value that keeps track of what the user is typing, which is separate and different from what the server returns when you click create game. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And the one that is returned by the server, in some sense, is validated, right? The server knows that that was a real game code and says, yes, here is the associated game ID. You know what I mean?
But because it's like it was programmed, and so it's just regurgitating whatever the code was telling it to
Correct. Yes. Yes. Okay. So what we're going to do is create a new state field, the same way that we have game code and nickname. I've placed the cursor there for you, for the unvalidated game code. And we can call it like join game code maybe. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, one of you guys do it. You don't need me for this. You can do it. I believe in you. Satch, do it.
Okay.
Oh no. I have to do the same thing.
Yeah, just type const and then square bracket, and we're creating a variable and a set variable. So we're going to call it
Join game code.
yes. Go.
I think, okay. I start join game code here.
Mm-hmm.
Code. Set. Game code.
Mm-hmm.
Use and then equals use state.
You bet.
Use state. And
Parentheses.
should I put
Yep.
quotes in there?
Yep. Beautiful. It looks wonderful.
Semicolon.
You bet. All right, now we need to bind the game code to the text field. So to do that, you want to go down to line 46.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to set value equals the join game code. The same way that it has, like, just like the way it has value is equal to nickname.
Join game code.
Yep. Close
Curly.
parentheses, yeah.
Oops, curly.
Yep. Now we need something to handle the game code change. So you type on change equals, and it needs to be a different function from this handle change. We're gonna have to do a lot of cleanup. All our variable names are starting to get bad. But let's just call it handle join code change.
Curly brace.
Yep. Save
I put a
that.
Save.
Yep.
I save it.
I believe you did not.
Didn't.
Try again.
Save.
Okay, great. And we have an error, and the error is handle join code change not defined. That makes sense. We need to define it. So look at lines 12 to 14.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, copy paste that jazz. Yeah.
Copy.
Mm-hmm. And then paste it underneath.
Oh gosh, sorry. Like here?
Yep. Yeah, and then rename it to the one that you named it, handle join code change. Yep. But now, instead of setting the nickname, this should be setting the join game code. Yeah?
Yeah. Join game code.
All right. Save.
Save.
Okay, I think it worked. Looks like it came up. It looks like it's working. All right, let's double check. I'm going to check. So right now, Rich and Shad are joined in the game. Satch, it's your turn.
Oh, yes.
You're going to join the game. Share your screen for us on this one because reasons.
I just have to sign in there. Okay. Share screen. Should I do my entire screen? Or just the window?
Just the window. All right.
Oops, wrong place. Here.
All right. So type your name in there. And then the code is UXSU.
Okay,
All right.
I'm going to click join game.
Uh-oh.
Did it work?
Nothing happened. Did you click it again?
Click.
Oh, do we need a landing page for it or anything? Or does it matter?
Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, we forgot to do one thing. We got too excited. Okay. Back to sorry, Satch.
That's okay.
Almost, but I got tricked too. I thought we were done.
Trixie's.
Line 58, we have a button where we have on click create game. We need another our other button needs to bind to a function that attempts to join the game. Yeah? Yeah. We got to do that. No skipping. So how about Rickles, you can do this one. Line 55. On click join game.
After this?
Right where I put my cursor.
Oh. Oh, I see. Is this how to spell on?
Oops.
Like that?
You're off by one character. Where my cursor is. You want it. Yeah. Right there.
Do I need to...
It needs to be there. You're in the wrong spot.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. This is where, like, the name of the button is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. On click equals. Join.
Equals curly break. Break it.
Join game.
Curly brace.
Yep. All right. Now we need to actually write that function. It's going to be very similar to lines 20 through 32. So you can just copy paste lines 20 to 32. Yeah. Make a copy of that and then put it right below.
Copy.
Beautiful. All right, let's rename it to join game. Yep. And so now, we're line 35. This is the APIs we're hitting. So if you recall, API game is where we create a game. To join a game, it's API join. So rename game to join. Yep. And the body needs to be the nickname like we had, but we have to add as well the game code. So go right here and then comma and then say game underscore code.
Oh, okay.
Colon. And then this is going to be the value of the join game code that Satch made on line 7.
Okay, so
I did it.
You did it.
join. So?
Looks good. Yeah, looks great, actually. Save that. I think we're done.
Save.
Save didn't happen. Try again.
Oh. Does this matter now?
All right, now you're saved. Beautiful. Satch, back to you. Let's try.
Me.
Let's try again.
Poker.
All right, you should just be able to click join game right away.
Okay, I'm clicking at 3, 2, 1, join.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the Fast API. We're going to list the games, execute. There you are, Satch. You're in there.
You in there?
You're in there.
Nice.
I'm there. We're playing game now.
Yes.
Now we're all staring at each other.
Look at all those numbers that define who we are.
Indeed. That was beautiful. I think this is a great place to end the stream. Actually, I think we achieved a thing. What do you
It's
think?
pretty successful.
Yeah, nice job.
So what do we like this format a little better?
It's definitely more fast-paced and probably more entertaining, I guess, for audience members.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think too, um, we're able to kind of pick up on things, but because we're going through so much more, and like I think especially because how we should be learning if we have questions, at least in terms of this, maybe it's the situation where like we had a question about what was it
Like, what is a class?
Yeah, what is a class?
Mm-hmm.
And then so like even though didn't answer right away, we got to the point where we understood some part of it so that you could answer it and we would understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I also I enjoyed doing it more too this way, a little bit faster paced. I think it's more fun. So we can keep doing it this way. I do think that there's less. I'm giving you guys less opportunity to absorb the things I'm telling you. But
I think because you got through more of it in this session, you went through more things, but they all related to each other. So you went back and forth through all the steps, which made it easier to absorb all the different sections. Whereas maybe before, if it was going slower, then you might not see how different things relate to each other. Like
Makes sense.
the different codes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay. So we'll keep this this format then next time. And I think this was a good place to. So I'll commit all the changes. I don't think we need to do homework. We can just make whatever progress we make in this time. And if you guys have things that you want to do for homework, ask me, and I will enable you guys to do that stuff, either in the next stream or between this session and the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's useful though to ensure that the code works locally, because nothing is more painful than not being able to actually do things, like actually run what you have working locally. So maybe like what we can do is every time we at the end of every session, just ensure that the changes, I'm going to commit the changes we did today. Just make sure all these changes work for you locally. And then, and that way, if you feel inspired, like at some point, we may get to a point where like, oh, I could do that. And then you want to go and do it. If you get that itch, you need to be enabled to scratch it. Okay. So that's it for today. Let's commit real fast. And let's go here to poker backend, get status.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're gonna need to also tidy up our code. I've been bad and made things not very nice, but well. Okay, so we're just gonna, so what we've done is we've today in the back end, we've made it so that we keep track of games, keep track of current games. There's a lot of problems that we currently have with this implementation, which we'll have to eventually deal with. Specifically, when a game ends, we need to clean up. We need to remove those games from the list of games. The way it's currently set up, the games will perpetually accumulate, which is a problem because it means that you can join games that are no longer being played, you know? So those are all things we're going to have to eventually deal with. And then in the front end, what we did was we enabled people to join games. Enable ability to join a game. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. all the changes are up. I will probably spend some time this week to clean up all of our variable names and function names and API names and make sure everything works, so that when we get together next time, we'll have a nice clean place. And for the next session, Mom said yes. Not sure to what.
She just agrees that.
Agrees, yes. The next thing that we want to do is after you join the game. So the way we implemented this, when you refresh the page, you're no longer in the game that you're in. That's bad. We don't want that. We want when you refresh the page, you should still be in the game. Yeah. So what we're gonna do next time is we'll make it so that once you use your game code to get into the game, you can see the other people that have joined. Sound good? So we can see like right now, like I'm using the API to list the current players, list all the games. The next step is in the lobby anyway. You once you're in the lobby and someone joins the game, you should see all the people currently playing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
We should be little characters that run around the place, like Among Us, the lobby.
Oh, I bet that took a lot of effort to like build just that.
True.
We could build that though if you want. We could build that.
The thing is, Among Us is like a third-person game, so that makes sense. But this is just a card game, so it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
right?
It's interesting.
I
need to move and follow around people.
Mm-hmm. All right, that was a good session. I think we're done for today, huh?
Yeah. Thank you for this lecture done. It was awesome.
It was fun. I had more fun than usual, so that's great.
Awesome.
I love
that means that the format works for you. That's most important.
Not really. What matters, it has to first work for our audience, then it has to work for you guys, then it has to work for me.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And it works for everybody so far.
Yeah, well, according to the stats, there's only 4 people here, so yeah, audience doesn't matter that much yet. All right, that was fun. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye, internets.
Bye, internet.